Hello students, in this video I am going to discuss the questions from the subject Elements of Civil Engineering which were asked in the preliminary exam in 2017. Question number 1. A projecting stone which is usually provided to serve as support for roof truss, beam, weather shade, etc. is known as. Now the four options are string course, coping, cornice and corbel. String course is a horizontal projecting course of masonry which projects out from the face of the wall and which is intended to throw off rainwater. It also gives architectural appearance and adds to the strength of the wall. Whereas coping, it is nothing but a capping or covering provided to a wall. The main purpose of coping is to drain off the rainwater during rainy season. It also improves the aesthetics. A coping may consist of stone, brick, tile, etc. Cornice. It is a horizontal decorative molding over a door, window, interior wall, etc. And the corbel. It is an architectural member that projects out from a wall and acts as a support or a bracket for the structural members such as truss, beam, weather shade, etc. And that is why the correct option is option number 4, that is corbel. Question number 2. If tensile stresses in concrete are neutralized by introducing initial compressive stresses, such concrete is known as. The four options are given. Now we know that concrete is strong in compression but is weak in tension. In order to make the concrete to resist the tension, compressive stress is induced in the member in that zone where tension is going to appear due to external loads. This initially induced compression in concrete takes care of tension due to external loading. Such concrete is called as prestressed cement concrete. So the correct option for this question is option 2, prestressed cement concrete. Next question. The maximum eccentricity in a rectangular foundation of width B for no tension in masonry should not exceed. In case of compression members, if the load acts along the axis of the member, that is, if the line of action of load coincides with the axis of the member, it is called as an axial load. Whereas if the line of action of load do not coincide with the axis of the member, such a load is called as an eccentric load. Now eccentric load results in producing tensile stresses inside the member. However, if an eccentric compressive load is applied within an area called as core of the cross section, then no tension is induced anywhere inside the member. So this area which is around the CG of the cross section within which the compressive force, if it is applied, no tension is produced, is called as core or kernel of a section. For a rectangular section, the core part is a rhombus. So suppose this is a rectangular section of width B and depth D. If I draw the two axes of the cross section, the axis will be like this. The rhombus is like this. So its diagonal measured along the width is measures B by 3. So B by 3 is the length of the diagonal along the width, whereas the length of the diagonal along the depth is D by 3. Now it means that the maximum eccentricity which can happen is half the width of this diagonal or half the length of the diagonal, which is B by 6. So B by 6 is the maximum eccentricity up to which the compressive load can be applied and no tension will happen. So the correct option is option number 4. The keyword to GIS technology is, now GIS means Geographic Information System. Geology is an earth science concerned with the rocks of which it is composed. Geomorphology is the study of physical features of the surface of the earth, whereas geometrology is the study of effect of weather on the rocks. So keyword for GIS is nothing but Geographic Information System. Option 1 is the correct option for this question. Next question. The primary need for automation on construction sites is. Now the primary need for automation is to protect humans from safety and health hazards. So option 3 is the correct option. Next, a surveyor measured the distance between 2 points A and B on the plan drawn to a scale of 1 centimeter is equal to 30 meter, and the result was 512 meter. Later, however, he discovered that he used a scale of 1 centimeter is equal to 10 meter. Find the true distance between points A and B. So initially, when the scale of 1 centimeter is equal to 30 meter is considered by the surveyor, the actual distance worked out to be 512 meter. However, later he found that the actually used scale is 1 centimeter is equal to 10 meter. So actually a greater scale is used, and we'll have to multiply the distance 512 meter by 3. So 512 into 3 is equal to 1536. The correct option is option 3. Next question. The number of different plane scales recommended by IS 1491-1959 for the use of engineers are. Now the plane scales recommended by IS 1491-1956 are designated as A, B, C, D, E and F. So these are the 6 scales which are recommended. Now out of these 6 scales, the first 3 I am writing over here. The first 3 are A, scale A. It is 50 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. 50 centimeter is equal to 1 meter, and representative factor RF for this is equal to 1 by 2. So 1 half. The second scale which is designated as B is 40 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. So it is 40 centimeter is equal to 1 meter, or it is also 20 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. So when it is 40 centimeter is equal to 1 meter, the representative factor is 1 upon 2.5, and when it is 20 centimeter is equal to 1 meter, representative factor is 1 upon 5. Now when scale C is to be considered, so scale C, in this scale or in this designation, 10 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. 10 centimeter is equal to 1 meter, and 5 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. 5 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. Representative factors are 1 by 10 and 1 by 20. So these are the first 3 scales. The next 3 are D, E, F. So next 3 I am going to show are D, E, F. So for the scale D, so scale D I am writing over here. So D, scale D is 2 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. 2 centimeter is equal to 1 meter, or it is 1 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. 1 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. Now representative factors are 1 by 50 and 1 by 100. Scale E which is used is 5 mm is equal to 1 meter. 5 mm it is equal to 1 meter, and it is representative factor is 1 upon 200, and 2 mm is equal to 1 meter. 2 mm is equal to 1 meter. Representative factor is 1 upon 500. Scale F is 1 mm is equal to 1 meter. 1 mm is equal to 1 meter, and 0.5 mm is equal to 1 meter. 0.5 mm is equal to 1 meter. Representative factors are 1 upon 1000 and 1 upon 2000. So these are the 6 different plane scales which are recommended by IS 1491, and that is why the correct option is option number 4. Next question. Contour lines of different elevations can unite to form one line only in the case of. The 4 options are given. Now first option is ridge. Now ridge is represented by U or V-shaped contour lines with their closed ends pointing towards lower elevation. So if closed ends are pointing towards lower elevation, it is a ridge. Whereas valley bottoms are represented by U or V-shaped contour lines with their closed ends pointing towards higher elevation. So both ridge and valley are represented by U or V-shaped contour lines. The only difference is that in case of ridge, the U or V-shaped contour lines are pointing, or their closed ends are pointing towards the lower elevation, whereas in case of valley, the U or V-shaped contour lines with their closed end pointing towards higher elevation. Contour lines generally do not meet or intersect each other. If contours are meeting in some portion, it shows existence of vertical cliff. It shows existence of vertical cliff. Whereas in case of hill, contour lines form circles. And that is why here, as the contour lines are uniting to form one line, it is a case of vertical cliff, and that is why the correct option is option 3. Next, when it is not possible to set up the leveling instrument between the points, the type of leveling to be used is, 4 options are given. Now when we consider fly leveling, in this type of leveling, any number of change points are established as required during leveling. So any number of change points are possible. In case of differential leveling, it is nothing but a technique used to determine difference in elevation between points that are remote from each other. Reciprocal leveling, the level is set on both banks of river or valley, and two sets of reading are taken holding the staff on both banks. Whereas in case of profile leveling, it is usually used for proposed ditch or road, or the center line of natural features such as a stream bed, in which elevations of series of points at measured intervals is required. So the correct option for this question is reciprocal leveling, where the level is set on both banks of river or valley and two sets of reading are taken holding the staff at both the banks. Now next question. A level is set up in between 2 points A and B. Elevation of point A is 201.1 meter, that is benchmark. If the backside reading taken on point A is 2.225 meter and foresight reading taken on point B is 1.895 meter, then what is the elevation of point B? Now for this question, height of collimation can be obtained as reduced level of A plus backside reading at A. So reduce level of A, so height of collimation, I am writing over here, height of collimation is equal to reduce level of A is 201.100 plus the backside reading at A is 2.225. So it is 2.225, that is backside reading, and height of collimation works out to be 203.325. So this is the height of collimation, and reduced level of B will be equal to height of collimation minus foresight reading at B. So height of collimation is 203.325, and if we deduct the foresight reading at B, which is given as 1.895 meters, 203.325 minus 1.895 gives us 201.430. So the option 1 is the correct option for this question. So that completes 10 questions from this question paper. Now I'm going to discuss the questions which are asked for this subject in the next exams, that is 2018 and 2019 also. So please stay connected and please subscribe to our channel. Thanks.